A Nigerian immigrant just sold his company to BlackRock for $12.5 billion. Another turned a simple scheduling app into a $3 billion empire. And there's a guy planning to drop $50 billion in American investments like it's pocket change. While you're worried about your rent, these Nigerians are literally reshaping the American economy from the shadows. This is how they built billion-dollar empires right under your nose. Nigerian Americans are quietly becoming some of the wealthiest people in the United States, and most people have no idea. We're talking about billionaires who control airports, tech unicorns worth more than some country's GDP, and business deals that make Elon's Twitter purchase look like spare change. Forbes just released their 2025 list, and 6 Nigerians made the global black billionaires ranking. That's not a typo. 6 from one country, living in America, and their combined wealth tries $6 billion and climbing fast. But here's the crazy part. Most of them started with absolutely nothing. Meet Bayo Ogunlesi, net worth $2.4 billion. And he just became the richest Nigerian in America through one of the most insane business deals you've never heard about. Picture this. You're 71 years old. You've been grinding for decades, and then boom, BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, writes you a check for $12.5 billion. Not million, billion. Ogunlesi didn't just win the lottery. This man literally owns airports, like actual airports where your flights take off. London Gatwick Airport, that's his. Edinburgh Airport, also his. London City Airport, you guessed it. This Nigerian immigrant built an infrastructure empire that spans 3 continents. But wait, it gets crazier. Bayo wasn't born rich. He grew up in a small Nigerian town, worked his way to Oxford, then Harvard, and became the first non-American law clerk for Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall. Talk about making history. His company, Global Infrastructure Partners, manages over $170 billion in assets. That's more money than the GDP of most countries. And when BlackRock bought his company in October 2024, he didn't just retire to some beach. Nah, they put him on BlackRock's board of directors. Then OpenAI, the ChatGPT people, they wanted him on their board too. So now, this Nigerian billionaire is literally shaping the future of AI and global finance. Wild. But if you think Ogunlesi's story is crazy, wait until you hear about Tope Awatona. This 43-year-old is worth $1.4 billion, making him one of only 2 black tech billionaires in America. And his path to wealth? Absolutely heartbreaking. When Tope was just 12 years old, his father was killed in a Lagos carjacking. His family lost everything. They moved to Atlanta with basically nothing, and Tope had to rebuild his entire life from scratch. Fast forward 30 years, and he just created Calendly. That scheduling app that every business uses now? Yeah, that's his. 20 million users worldwide, including companies like Lyft and Ancestry.com. Here's the insane part. Tope failed at business 3 times before Calendly. He tried dating sites, projector e-commerce, garden tools, all failures. He invested his entire life savings, $200,000, into Calendly in 2013. His whole net worth. Everything. Most Silicon Valley entrepreneurs would be begging investors for money within 6 months. Not Tope. This man bootstrapped Calendly for 8 years. No external funding, no venture capital, just pure hustle and determination. When he finally accepted investment in 2021, the company was valued at $3 billion. From his garage to a $1 billion valuation in 8 years. And unlike most tech startups burning money like crazy, Calendly has been profitable since 2016. That's some next-level immigrant energy right there. Now let's talk about the youngest player in this game, Wemimo Abi. He's only 32 years old, and his company just hit unicorn status with a $1 billion valuation. His estimated net worth? Somewhere between $100 to $300 million and growing fast. Wemimo's story starts in the Lagos slums. Real slums. Not I grew up poor. Actual slums where his single mother sold her wedding ring to send him to America after his father died when he was 2 years old. His mom faced 400% interest rates because she had no credit history. 400%! That's basically legal robbery. And that childhood trauma? It gave him an idea that would change millions of lives. Enter Esusu, a fintech company that reports rental payments to credit bureaus. Sounds boring, right? Wrong. This is revolutionary. Think about it. You pay rent every month, sometimes for years, but it doesn't help your credit score. Wemimo fixed that. Now 1.8 million Americans use Esusu's services to build credit, with average credit score increases of 51 points. SoftBank Vision Fund 2 led his $130 million funding round, the same fund that invested in companies like Uber and WeWork. They saw what Wemimo was doing and basically threw money at him. And here's the kicker. This 32-year-old now sits on the SEC's advisory committee and Fannie Mae's Housing Council. He's literally helping shape American financial policy while building a billion-dollar company. From Lagos slums to advising the U.S. government in 30 years. That's some movie script material right there. But all of these stories pale in comparison to what's coming next. Meet Aliko Dangote, Africa's richest man with a net worth of $23.9 billion. And he's planning to drop $20 to $50 billion in American investments. Let that sink in. $50 billion in American investments. Dangote's not just rich. I built the world's largest oil refinery, rich. This facility processes 360,000 barrels per day and is expanding to 700,000 barrels daily by December 2025. Between June and July 2025 alone, his refinery exported 1 million tons of petrol. That's 1.35 billion liters of fuel, disrupting global energy markets. His cement company operates in 17 African countries with 48.6 million metric tons of capacity annually. The refinery alone employs over 30,000 people. This man is literally running an industrial empire, and now he wants to bring that empire to America. He's planning a New York office to manage renewable energy investments and petrochemical manufacturing. When Dangote moves to America, he doesn't just buy houses, he reshapes entire industries. The crazy part? He's doing all this to preserve his family wealth. African currency devaluation has historically destroyed fortunes, so he's diversifying into American investments. Smart move when you're worth $24 billion. Tony Elumelu runs the only African bank with commercial operations in America. UBA Group serves over 45 million customers globally, with offices in New York, London, and Paris. His net worth sits around $700 to $900 million, and he's not slowing down. His Tony Elumelu Foundation committed $100 million to funding African entrepreneurs, supporting nearly 10,000 business leaders. This man is literally creating the next generation of African billionaires while building his own empire. Then there's Chinedu Echeruo, who sold his company Hopstop to Apple for $1 billion in 2013. Yeah, Apple, the iPhone people. They wanted his mapping technology so badly, they dropped $1 billion on it. Dr. Godwin Maduka built a $100 million fortune through his Las Vegas Pain Institute, the largest pain treatment facility in America. His influence was so significant that his hometown in Nigeria was renamed in his honor. Imagine being so successful that they rename your entire city after you. Maya Horgan Famodu became the youngest woman to independently launch a tech fund in sub-Saharan Africa at age 25. Her venture capital fund doubled from $5 million to $10 million, and her estimated net worth now sits at $50 to $75 million. These aren't just rich people. They're reshaping American business, African development, and global finance simultaneously. These billionaires don't just have money, they have access. Ogunlesi sits on boards at Goldman Sachs and OpenAI. Abby advises the SEC and Fannie Mae. These positions give them insider access to deals and opportunities that most people never see. They move in circles with traditional Wall Street executives and Silicon Valley innovators. World Economic Forum, TED conferences, major university boards, they're not just attending these events, they're shaping the conversations. Private equity circles, hedge fund management, sovereign wealth fund advisory roles. Their influence in American finance extends far beyond their personal wealth. They're making investment decisions that affect pension funds, institutional investments, and global capital flows. This isn't just individual success. This is systematic influence over American and global finance. But here's the most insane part that nobody talks about. This is just the beginning. Infrastructure investment opportunities through climate change adaptation favor their expertise. Technology innovation in AI, fintech, and healthcare creates new wealth-building platforms where they're already positioned. Cross-border business opportunities between America and Africa represent a unique competitive advantage. As African economies grow and American businesses seek international expansion, Nigerian Americans are perfectly positioned to facilitate and profit from these trends. The next generation, their kids educated at elite American institutions, are beginning to build their own business empires. Family wealth preservation strategies increasingly focus on diversified American investments while maintaining African business relationships. And that's how Nigerians quietly became some of the richest people in America. From infrastructure billions to tech unicorns, from banking empires to healthcare fortunes, they're reshaping American business while most people have no idea. If these stories blow your mind like they blew mine, smash that like button and subscribe for more content about how immigrants are building billion-dollar empires in America. Drop a comment telling me which story surprised you the most. Ogunlesi's airport empire, Awatona's scheduling billions, or Dangote's $50 billion American expansion plans. And if you want to see how other immigrant communities are building wealth in America, check out this video right here about how Chinese billionaires are buying up American real estate. Trust me, those numbers will make your jaw drop. Hit that subscribe button because next week we're diving into the secret lives of Indian tech billionaires who are quietly taking over Silicon Valley. You won't believe what they're building.